Hi everyone, and welcome to Robo.talks, our quarterly review of Robocash Group and Robocash platform. My name is Grigorii Shikunov. I'm deputy of the Robocash Group, and today I will give you an overview of financial results and operational highlights of Robocash Group and the platform. To make a long story short, we had another quarter of profitable growth. Now, let's dive in for some more details. So, speaking about Robocash platform, we had a very strong quarter for the platform as a standalone entity. Well, we, and actually you, our valued investors, set a new record of quarterly net deposits. 6.7 million euros in Q3. That's pretty impressive. This allowed the platform to finance almost 39 million of loans and accrue 734,000 euros of interest to our valued investors. And this is basically how it works. Investor deposit funds on the platform and we deliver the interest. I must admit we're a bit disappointed by the fact that number of new investors was lower in Q3 than in Q2, and we will do our best to change these dynamics in Q4. And actually, we have started working on attracting more investors to the platform, even in Q3. We hosted Lars Robel from Passive Income and Mid Peer-to-Peer, a blog about passive income from peer-to-peer platforms. Lars makes detailed reviews of platforms present in the market, and he has already started posting a series of videos covering his trip to Robocash, in Russia. You can find these videos in Lars's blog and on our YouTube channel, and give us your feedback and likes. We have also introduced a series of investment strategies, articles on investment strategies, and made tutorial videos for beginner investors. We encourage you to take a look on them and share your feedback as well. Speaking about group performance, we had solid 9 months of 2021. We are actively rebuilding our customer base after lockdowns and corona crisis of 2020. And we are on track to double loan disbursement and revenue in 2021. And although profit metrics are less impressive, it is perfectly normal because, like I mentioned in our earlier talks, profit indicators usually lag revenues, which in turn usually lags disbursement. So in time, higher issuance will translate into higher revenues and into higher profits. And growth was pretty strong in Q3, with number of customers, issued principal, and revenue increasing healthily. Speaking about operational highlights of the group, there were many of them in the third quarter. We have started operations in Sri Lanka, a very promising developing market. We continue to build our public profile by issuing bonds on Moscow Exchange, and the total amount of issued bonds in 2021 on Moscow Exchange now exceeds $80 million. We scale aggressively in Kazakhstan and maintain leading position there. We see improvements in product economics in Spain. The return rate is a very important metric because it defines the positive economics, positive cash flow from the product in the long term. And we're happy to see this metric growing in Spain. And we enjoy triple-digit quarterly growth in UnaPay. This is our buy now, pay later product in the Philippines. And this is a very important highlight because this is a hot market in a hot jurisdiction. And this is, mind you, triple-digit growth quarter to quarter, not an annual triple-digit growth, but a quarterly triple-digit growth. And this is an outright success. And along with that, we continue to scale happily with double-digit quarterly growth in Indonesia, Vietnam, and India. Now we're going to your questions. What is the default and recovery rate in Q3 and throughout 2021? So the default and recovery rate depend on markets in which you operate, but for Robocash Group, we maintained the default rate around 12.9% on a group level. And in Robocash, we define default as a loan which is more than 90 days overdue in payments. Speaking about recovery rate, it was 15.6% in Q3 and 15.7% in 9 months of 2021. What is the delayed rate in Q3 and throughout 2021? At the group level, the average share of overdue loans throughout the year was 12.1%. For the platform, the share of such loans counted from the first day amounts to 18.1%, which is 1.6% less than in Q2. What part of the group guarantees the group guarantee? Is it only originators offering loans on the platform or any other entity? So ultimately, the group guarantee is guaranteed by the group, by the holding company of the group. And this is done through direct participation in capital of loan originators. So there is a buyback guarantee from a loan originator, which is in turn backed up by the capital invested into the loan originator by the group. So once again, this is the group who actually guarantees the group guarantee on loans. What has been the net profit loss and the cash flow of the part of the company that guarantees the group guarantee in Q3 and throughout 2021? Well, having said that, the entity which guarantees the group guarantee is the group as a whole, the applicable answer is the net income of the group, which was $19 million in 9 months of 2021 and $4.9 million in Q3 alone. And the cash flow for the group was positive in Q3 and 9 months of 2021. I heard a blogger from Germany visited you recently. What was the purpose of this visit and where can I learn more about this? Yes, as I mentioned, Lars Robel from Passive Income and Peer-to-Peer visited us. He had an extensive stay in Kemerovo, he visited Novosibirsk, he was in Moscow, and he has already started posting videos from his trip in his blog. And we also make post videos in our YouTube channel. Please give it a look, post it a like, and ask us more questions. Singapore loans are classified as business loans. Could you please explain how this works? Well, Singapore loan originator attracts funds for the development of the Robocash Group's business in Asia. It is a channel through which we transmit funds into operations which are simply not big enough to be posted directly on the peer-to-peer platform, on the Robocash. So essentially what Singapore does is that it accumulates funds which are then distributed to borrowers in operations where in the markets where our operations are smaller than the others. Simple as that. When are you fixing your ID verification process? I referred 3 different customers with Spanish IDs, and none of them was able to get through the ID verification process. Well, to pass the verification procedure, it is necessary to send both sides of the personal card in color and in good quality, or a copy of the passport on the same conditions. If there are any difficulties, we inform the clients via email in which we explain the cause why the ID scan was not accepted, and well, the support is there to help any customer to pass onboarding, well, as comfortably as possible. Will interest rates keeps falling? Well, it's hard to tell. Well, interest rates in peer-to-peer industry depend on interest rates in the whole economy, and we have been through several years of money printing by most central banks in Europe and in the world. Now there is more, I would say, more talking about tapering or stopping the money printing or raising central bank interest rates. So this which will drive the interest rates in the peer-to-peer markets. It's not the whim of individual platforms. So it's hard to tell where the interest rates will go in the long run, but the consensus currently is that we are facing several years of elevated inflation, which in turn will be accompanied by higher interest rates from central bank, and this may lift the interest rates on peer-to-peer market, but only time will tell. Right now, this is a more speculation and forecasting than a solid truth. I'd like to ask if it is one of your future commitments to be more transparent about the structures and specifics of the investment products available on your platform. The most reliable platforms are now focusing on transparency, especially after the news of scams in the Baltics. We in turn will continue to strive to ensure that investors have a complete picture of both the activities of our platform and the financial situation of the group and the investors' funds as well. So we are sharing the results of the platform monthly, publish the results of loan originators quarterly, and we constantly publish the summaries of audited financial reports, which are prepared in accordance with IFRS standards. So to give the answer, this is the level of transparency we currently offer, and yes, we strive for more transparency in the future. What safety measures does Robocash provide for investors to participate with larger investment amounts in the platform? Other than Robocash belonging to the group, does it plan to become a regulated platform to increase safety of the investors? Well, I must mention that we have a very successful experience of passing through Corona crisis and lockdowns without major hiccups for our investors. And there are few platforms which can tell the same about them. And like I said earlier, we do monitor the situation with regulation in peer-to-peer market. And as soon as we see there is a license applicable to our business model, we are ready to proceed with acquiring one. Right now, we do not yet see such license, although we follow the regulation quite closely in the markets where we are present. How are your IPO plans? Or did you change your strategy and will remain private? The holding strives to conduct an IPO and become a public company. This is why we continue to build our public profile. Currently, we are examining different options and having a busy negotiation process, but right now we don't have a firm commitment regarding the date of potential placement and have no firm commitment from a venue. So we are still in process of looking and negotiating. Is there a possibility of introducing individual IBAN accounts for investors? That would be a great upgrade. Cannot argue with the plus point. This would be a great upgrade. It's very convenient, but currently it is not possible due to operations model of the Robocash platform. The platform acts as an intermediary between investor, buyer of the claim, and the lender, seller of the claim. And Robocash essentially facilitates payments between virtual accounts available set up on the platform for both the investor and loan originator. So, and this model does not directly allow individual IBANs currently. So the simple answer is no. There will be no individual IBANs on the Robocash platform in the closer future. But surely we are examining options to introduce ones, although that is not a quick process. Why on the investor page on the first day of each month, the financial figures look strange and do not fit together? On the first day of each month, the system processes all the transactions and essentially closes the period. Our development team is constantly optimizing those operations, but with an increase of the number of transactions, the load on the system grows, so it takes time for the numbers to be processed. In the meantime, when the process is ongoing, the numbers may look strange. So we're looking into that, and we hope there will be a solution. Now let's check if there are any questions during the translation. No, there are no questions. So thank you for your attention. Thank you for your deposits, and enjoy your accrued interest. There it is. See you next quarter. Thank you.